Action! Action, action, action! We're live in action. Boom shakalaka. What is that? Hi guys. Whew. We've been standing here literally for 5 minutes going, we're ready, we're early, we're like so ready. And right at 2 o'clock I was like, oh shit! I forgot something. But we're all good, so I ran. Okay, so I should mention that little book that you guys had a close-up of at the beginning there. Miracle Meals, hey my friends? Miracle Meals, sorry, I'm just trying to call this up properly here so I can see your comments. What am I doing? Hi, hi, hello, good afternoon, welcome. My attention's a little bit split. Why can't I see the comments? What is happening here? Ah, there we go. Okay, where's everybody watching from? Whoever's hopping on, please let me know. Kathy's saying hi. Rick is saying, yo, what's up? Kenneth is now watching live from his phone. So you should see it right now. We have Kenneth's phone, my laptop, my iPad, all the technology.
All just in case.
All just in case. We don't spend time getting all this stuff set up to have things crash and burn. Just to turn some heat down here. Ooh, que riquísimo. Okay, my friends. Oh, now I got people watching. Mandy's watching from Louisville, Kentucky. I did August 2013, I believe it was. I did the Tough Mudder in Louisville, Kentucky. You know the Tough Mudders? Like it's like the Spartan race where you go and you climb walls, you get muddy, you climb through, you do crazy stuff. I did that in Louisville, Kentucky. Why in Louisville, Kentucky? I don't recall. What else here? Kathy is saying great little cookbook. Yes, if you missed the beginning here, we were doing a little look-see-roo at my book Miracle Meals. Sherry's watching from North Carolina. Jamie's watching from North Carolina. Kathy's watching from Seattle. Jody's saying hi. Rick is saying from Manchester, UK. In the house. Philip is watching from West Virginia. Denise is watching from Maine. I love that. That makes me so happy. So Miracle Meals, I just thought I'd bring this out because I found it in my office today. Full color recipe book I wrote in May of 2017, including the most requested recipes from that point. Who's that? With a nice little foreword written by Jerry. The only reason I'm mentioning it is because I'm doing Miracle Meals 2.0 is in the works right now. It's going to be all about miracle sauces, all of like the most requested current sauces and sweets. So it's going to be just sauces and desserts. I'm hoping to have the ebook done by maybe the end of February and get that sent out in the newsletter and stuff like that, and then there'll be hard copies available at the gift store at some point here at Rythmia. And this is my other cookbook. This was my very first one that I ever wrote. Still available online through my website. It is 100% vegan, mostly raw. You know, color pictures. I actually did the food photography and everything for this one. So every once in a while I like to flip through it and say, hey, I'm proud of that book. And this book is actually what helped fund my move to Costa Rica. I paid for my flights down here when I moved in 2013 and everything with that book. So it's very near and dear to my heart. What else is going on here? Leanne Russell's watching from Tirana. Hey, Melanie is watching from the Netherlands. Super, super cool. Okay, so if you haven't been tuning in or aren't following me on Instagram or whatnot, update, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna say it every week because I need to say it out loud for it to be true. Because I'm 15, this is 15 weeks now already. Time flies. And it's such a blessed surprise for me that I've been able to do this, carry a baby, and I'm super excited about it. And I know that my mom typically watches this every week, and if we don't get a chance to FaceTime, she probably wants to see the bump update. So there's the bump. Can you see that? I have taken to not sucking it in anymore, so everyone's like, whoa, you like popped overnight. I'm like, maybe a little bit of that, but also I just stopped sucking it in because I'm like, it's real. This is not just too much bread. This is like baby. Could you see that, Kenneth? Can you see the difference? I'm going to be posting a pretty amazing picture on my Instagram and Facebook in the next day or two of, we have this great clothing sponsor for our dance class here. It's called Onzi. So we use their amazing yoga gear for our Dance of Liberation class here. So we did a photo shoot with them on Wednesday, or for them on Wednesday, wearing their gear. And I had got a couple of amazing shots of me slightly pressing out my belly because they wanted to capture some images of pregnant women in their wear. So I took one for the team and I did, and I was pushing my belly out, and I look like 7 months pregnant. It's a pretty amazing picture. I'm gonna post it on my channels. It's pretty exciting stuff. Okay, enough about me. Let's talk about chocolate. Valentine's Day is coming up, and Valentine's Day is celebrated here in Costa Rica, right, Kenneth?
Yes.
What do we call it here?
Día del Amor.
Dia del Amor, Day of Love. I mean, if here at Rythmia every day is Dia del Amor.
De amor.
De amor. You gotta roll your tongue and get saucy with it. Seriously, every day is love, and I don't think that we need one day on the calendar a year to celebrate love. We can choose love all day, every day. But it's a good excuse to make chocolate stuff, because chocolate is long been known as an aphrodisiac. Chocolates have been exchanged through the years between lovers. So why not? Why not do a little bit of chocolate fun? What do you say? All right. Okay, so that's good to go. Let's get talking about chocolate. And before we get into making the 3 quick little recipes today, and they're gonna be super quick and easy. You're gonna be surprised how easy it is. I wanna show you guys what cacao actually looks like, because a lot of people don't know. And I couldn't get my hands on a fresh cacao fruit today. There are, like here in Costa Rica, coffee and chocolate are big foods that we produce here. I'm running out of breath talking so much. And I used to live right near a cacao plantation where I would get like literal sacks of cacao pods delivered to me, and I would have the whole fruit to deal with. And this, can you see that, Kenneth? Does it translate? These are what the cacao fruits actually look like from the tree, and these are nice ripe. They're kind of like yellow ridged papaya type fruits, and they're about, again, you can see right next to a coconut that they're pretty decent size. So that's what the actual outside of the fruit looks like. And if I scroll over, this is a cross section of the cacao fruit. So you can see this is the nice yellow little skin, of it. And then inside there's this beautiful white fruit that is quite, it's not really flavorful, it's a little bit sweet. And then inside all of that yellow, that white fruit flesh is the actual seeds, or the cacao, cacao beans is essentially what they would be. So this is what the actual fruit looks like. Now, lesson number 1. Chocolate does not just come from Hershey's factory. Say what? Oh God, ridiculous. Nothing fits anymore. Even my aprons don't feel comfortable anymore. My body's all weird and different. Pura vida. Okay, so we talked about the cacao beans. Is my mom watching yet? I don't see her. Okay, I only say that because she was trying to FaceTime me this morning and I didn't answer. I was busy. So I went, and there's a place in Costa, like tons of, you can do this in health food stores, Amazon, you name it. There's a lot of really great local cacao available. So I wanted to show you. So this is the actual cacao bean. Just a tiny little thing. Break it in half, and it's just like a crunchy texture. You probably heard that. It's got a bit of a shell on the outside. This little thin shell, which isn't tasty. I like to ditch that. I don't eat that personally, but you could. And then inside, if you recognize what those look like, you may have seen cacao nibs for sale. Many grocery stores and health food stores sell the whole bean as well as the nibs. And the nib is just the inside of this bean crushed up into little chunks. A lot of people substitute this for chocolate chips in recipes and whatnot. This is not sweetened. There's absolutely no sugar in or anything in this. Obviously, it's a very natural, unprocessed state, so it's quite bitter. As if you eat dark chocolate, the more higher percentage of chocolate, the bit more bitter. This is like the epitome of bitter. This is like 100% chocolate. So I just brought those to show you. Like again, like this is just the whole beans. And quite often, how they treat these is they take these out. I used to, when I owned a bakery here in Costa Rica, we used to get the whole fruits, and we would go through the whole process. We would dehydrate the beans in the dehydrator first to dry them out, and then we would toast them in a pan. And as we toasted them, that would start releasing the outer shell much more easily. And then we would grind up the inside. See this shell? We'd grind this up into a powder, and that was the cacao powder we used in our baking. Time consuming as all get out, so you can just go ahead and buy the pre-done stuff like this. So this is just a cacao powder, and you can buy it in little bags like this. Not very expensive. This one is an organic Costa Rican one. It was only $8. And this is what it looks like. So it's this. Can you pass me a spoon? This is cacao powder, not to be confused with cocoa powder. Cocoa powder is the powder created from super roasted and processed cacao beans, whereas cacao is raw. So I mentioned that I like to toast mine off to get the skins off, but if you're gonna have proper cacao, it's not been roasted at high temperatures. So it's raw and it retains a lot more of the nutrients. Cacao in itself, super high on the ORAC scale, nerd alert, which is just this scale that they've created to rate the antioxidant level of various foods. Cacao is super high, super duper high on it. Super high in antioxidants, great source of magnesium, calcium, potassium.
Johnny Fast.
And it's delicious. Johnny Fast is watching. Hello, Johnny Fast. Let's see who else. Isan is saying hello. Karen saying hello from California. Kathy is letting Sherry know and everyone else that my Miracle Meal book is available on Amazon if you can't get it in person. Yeah. Who else we got here? Isan is saying happy belated birthday, Kenneth.
Thank you.
Sherry. Brenda Way saying 3 weeks she's coming. Oh, are you going to be with us in 3 weeks, Brenda? And she's talking about my banana muffins. Ha ha ha. Let's see. Johnny's up this week. He's not watching from the pool. A couple of weeks ago, Johnny was watching from the pool. Okay, so we talked about the names. We talked about the powder. One other component, quite often. So what this powder is the chocolate component, essentially. And what another processing step in the processing is extracting the cacao butter. So it looks like white chocolate. White chocolate of its standard kind when you buy it is mostly just fat and sugar and a lot of oils probably typically. This is like the most virgin form of white cacao butter you can get, and it's called cacao butter. This is just a brand that I get here in Costa Rica, and it's chunks of what it looks like is white chocolate. And all this is the fat from the cacao bean. The outer inner shell in here, like the main inner shell in this, is made up of a lot of fat. So through the processing here, we can extract the actual fat from it and separate it from the actual cacao component, and then you have cacao butter. And you can get food grade, which is what this is, and you can get non-food grade, which you'll see cacao butter and cocoa butter and shea, like all of those things put into a lot of skin treatments and moisturizers and stuff, but we're gonna be making edible chocolate today. So what I have here, by the way, in this pot, in this bowl, is this butter, cacao butter, and it's not dairy, don't be confused, it has no dairy in it at all. It's just the organic fat from the cocoa nibs. All that is that cacao butter melted, nothing else. There's nothing else in there. So we got that melting away. So we're gonna do our first quick recipe here, which is gonna be the most easiest version of chocolate you can ever make. The most easiest version in the world. So I got about a cup of that cacao butter. It's a little bit more. I don't measure, as you guys know. So I'm gonna just take that off the heat because that's all we needed to do was melt it down, and it melts down really, really fast. You know how quickly chocolate melts, super fast. I need a drink. Water? This is water?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay. So 1 cup or 1 part butter to 1 cup cacao powder. So it seems silly, like why would you separate the butter and the cacao only to put them back together? Many different reasons, just so you can have the different components for different uses. So I got my 1-to-1 here, and then I just need a sweetening agent, and you can use any sort of sweetener that you want. Today I've chosen 1/3 of a cup of organic, delicious Canadian maple syrup. I'm just gonna pour that in. Now, you know, chocolate in this heat right now, what would you say the temperature is here today, Kenneth? Like 34 degrees Celsius?
Easy.
Which is, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's hotter than
Almost 95, 94.
It's hot.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, I probably could have just let the cacao butter sit out without even putting it on the heat, and it would melt pretty good. But at room temperature or cooler, it's going to stay nice and solid, this particular recipe, because the base, the fat, is the cacao butter, which is this, I mean, this is still, it's solid, it's not melting, right, even in this heat. So if you want to have a nice shelf-stable chocolate, this is the recipe for you. And then again, it's easy. You use your cacao butter, your cacao powder, and any sort of sweetener, and then you can throw in any other flavorings that you want. You can throw in cacao nibs, coconut shreds, peppermint, whatever you want to do. We're making chocolate.
Yay! Man, what great timing.
Yeah. Too bad it's not going to be ready for a while.
I can come back and second.
Oh, so good. You want to come and smell this?
Yeah, what's the advantage?
We're live on Facebook. Just got to tell you that this is...
fine?
What up? Welcome, amigos. Come on in.
So what's the advantage? Did I miss it of what this is over butter?
Hey, what's up?
Well, this is cacao butter. So this is like the original unprocessed way to make chocolate. Hi, honey. Oh, mwah, thank you. So good to see you. This is our guest speaker for the week, Aaron. He's here with Jordan from Spirit Science. They're absolutely amazing. We're super excited to have them.
Super excited to be here. Mostly super excited to taste your food again.
Okay,
but-
great. Yeah, you just got here, so you better go get eaten. Nice to see you. Welcome back.
Chat more soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
this is
just saw Jordan too. How
we're,
cool is this?
we're just talking about, you know, this is the most organic form of chocolate. You can get the cacao bean, and then quite often in the processing, you combine the butter, which is used in many different ways, and the powder, which is used in many different ways, but you just combine them back together, add a sweetener, and you got your perfect, most unprocessed form of delicious chocolate.
You have to give your recipe.
I make chocolate truffles out here for head out to
Yeah?
Christmas time, so
Yeah, well, and this is the easiest way, and it's really shelf stable. You just do 1 part cacao, 1 part butter, any sort of sweetener, and then you just put it into your molds and set it. So we're gonna do a few here, and then I'm gonna get I have actual chocolate molds at home that I'm gonna do the rest of this with.
I would like you to look at his recipe and tell us how we can use your recipe in his.
Hey, if he's got a recipe that
Very
doesn't need
incredible.
fixing, you know, I'm all about it. If that recipe's working.
All right. Back about 12 pieces later.
There we go, perfect. Nice.
Yeah, look at the timing.
So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour it into these cups, and I'm going to be pretty liberal with it. Just like that. And then I'm going to save this for later to use in my other molds. And then I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator and it's going to set. Kenneth just took a little taste of that. What do you think, Kenneth?
Good.
Not super sweet either.
No, it's not sweet.
You can adjust your sweetness. I don't like super sweet. I like my chocolate bitter. Like I eat 80% usually bars. To be honest, since I found out I was pregnant, I have not wanted chocolate. Say what? Yes, chocolate has been one of my aversions, as they say. Certain things when you're pregnant, your body just doesn't want. Chocolate's one of them, which is strange because I used to eat chocolate every single night since I was like 25. Mom, if you're watching, she can attest to it. No fail. At least 1 to 7 pieces of dark chocolate every single night. And now, since the first week of December, I haven't had any. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll want it after I make all of it, after I go through the trouble of making it myself. So I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator to set. They might not set in time, but you get the picture. It's gonna be chocolate. This is a chocolate that I made earlier. Look at that. And it's almost more like a fudgy chocolate. And this is going to be the next recipe that I show you after we do a beverage. We're going to do a beverage and then I'm going to show this recipe. So this is one that I made in advance. Super delicious. Stay tuned for that one. All right. Back into the refrigerator. Whoop. Spilling chocolate. Spilt some chocolate in the fridge for Ravina. Okay, before I actually get on to the next recipe, there was one ingredient that I didn't talk about. Carob powder. And I know a lot of people don't like chocolate. I don't know what's wrong with y'all if you're not pregnant. Some people just don't like chocolate, or they can't eat it, or it keeps them up at night, or. Carob is a great substitute. So this is just, I buy this whenever I'm up in the States or Canada and bring it down because I like using it. I like the taste. It's a bit more sweet than cacao powder. And this is, it's kind of the same process, but it's from the carob plant. And it doesn't taste at all like chocolate, but it's a good substitute. It's got the same look, obviously. It's more sweet, much less bitter, and it's a good substitute. I've made this exact chocolate recipe that I'm gonna make in a moment I've made using carob, and it's turned out delicious. So just another quickie, good substitute. My cardio levels are just down the shitter these days. I can't even bend down and put stuff in the refrigerator. Okay, so the ketogenic diet has become very, very popular as of late. I know many people that are doing it, and I get a lot of requests from people to make more keto-friendly recipes. So we're gonna do one today, and this is going to be a ketogenic hot chocolate. What? You got it. So, to get this rocking and rolling, I'm gonna get this little pot starting to warm up a little bit. And it's a really easy recipe. And if you don't know what ketogenic diet is, it's essentially a super high fat diet, low carbohydrate, protein, but limited, not like the Atkins diet or anything where it was all about the protein. It's more about the fat, because the idea is to put your body into ketosis, where it will start using fat for energy instead of sugar and carbohydrates for energy. Many schools of thought on how good it is, why the benefits, why the pros, why the cons. I sit on the fence about it. I've tried it for several months. It didn't work for me. It just made me feel like groggy and uncomfortable and headachy, but I know a lot of people that thrive on it, so I think it's a lot has to do with body type and all of the your preconditioned needs. But we're gonna do a version of a hot chocolate for that. So I'm gonna start with 2 cups of almond milk. You can make your own. Use yours from a carton, whatever. 2 cups of almond milk. I don't know, about a third of a cup to a half a cup of heavy cream. And like this is, like I said, this diet is about fat. So we could just use the almond milk, but we want the fat. So this is like super fat heavy cream. Vanilla, half a teaspoon. So I'm gonna put about half that in there. Cacao, obviously. So this is about 4 or 5 tablespoons of that cacao powder. It's our chocolate component. And then sweetener. This is where the whole keto thing comes into place. We wouldn't use maple syrup or agave or a honey or any of these types of high glycemic, sugary sweeteners. You can use things like xylitol, which is a plant-derived natural sweetener. You could use stevia, which is a plant. Many different options. So I'm using a powdered stevia here. You could use liquid stevia. You could use monk fruit sweetener, I think would be fine with keto. So I'm gonna put that in there. And again, I'm not going super sweet with it because I don't like super sweet. You could just mix all of these in a bowl, but I have powerful blenders, so we're gonna use powerful blenders. Just blending it enough to mix it and froth it a little bit. That's all we need to do. And you could just drink this right like this over ice, would be delicious. Like an iced mocha. You could add in a shot of espresso. Blend in a banana. No, that wouldn't be keto. But I would throw in a banana because I'm not keto. But what we're going to do today is we're going to... Woo! I'm so glad you weren't focusing on me, Ken. I just jumped out of my skin. I'm super jumpy right now. I don't know why. So we're just going to let that heat up. Just gently. Where's my lid? Do I have a lid for that little guy? Yes, right in front of my face. There we go. Let that warm up, and then Kenneth and I will have a taste. Okay. One more recipe to go. One more recipe to go. And this is, again, stupid easy. You look like you got some good sun, amigo. All right. So the next chocolate, oh my God, so easy. Take my bowl, any bowl. Always when you're dealing with any sort of chocolate, just make sure it's dry. So I just got a bowl here. I'm grab my whisk. Okay, hold on to your hats. Super complicated. Not. Coconut oil. This butter can be hard to find. Not all health stores carry it. Not all grocery stores. It can be hard to source. So this is another great way that I've made chocolate for eons. Especially if you don't know for sure if your cacao butter is raw or whatever. This is a great way to do it to know that it's raw. So you get your raw, unrefined coconut oil. Super easy. Vanilla. People always say vanilla, but that's the opposite of chocolate. No, vanilla really brings out the flavor of chocolate. So I got my oil and my vanilla. Sweetener. Today I'm using agave, just to keep it vegan, because honey's not vegan, and I ran out of maple syrup. start just in there, that little gentle whisk. So this is our fat component, and then we need our chocolate component. So then cacao powder. Say what? Yep, that's all there is to it. Easy, easy breezy. Like so. I'm gonna add a bit more cacao powder because I like mine super dense. And this is a little bit runny. This is just gonna help like bind it together and make it a little bit more fudgy, like the ones that I just showed you. I like mine super chocolatey and super fudgy. And that agave is super sweet, and I put a lot in, so. Hey, my friends, just like that. And then grab our makeshift mold. That's why muffin tins are so great. They're versatile, and you can use them for so many things. Now you can see that the chocolate that we made before is not set. It's going to take a little while because it was really warm, right? Because I had it heated on the stove. But it will set, don't you worry. In the meantime, I'm going to get a couple more of these going. Hopefully these don't blow away. And I'm just going to take this fudgy chocolate goodness, and because this is super rich, right, with the coconut oil base, I'm going to make these somewhat smaller. And if you guys watched a few weeks ago, I can't remember what the topic was, but I made those almond butter chocolate butter cups with the same idea here with the mold. You could use either one of these versions of chocolate as the base instead of just, you know, if you wanted to go really from scratch. That day I just melted down a couple of bars of my favorite dark chocolate. You can make your own favorite dark chocolate just like this, and then fill it with an almond butter filling and set it in the freezer and have yummy, yummy chocolate dessert. Now, normally I like to bang my muffin tin to help flatten these out, but because I have those big raw cacao, there we go. That'll do. And then it's the fun part of decorating them. So kind of you can show, like I've got here, this one has got spirulina on top, pecan, dried watermelon. Here I'm gonna add some strawberry. Super cute. Little pieces of strawberry on there. These are just freeze-dried pieces of fresa. How cute is that? Then I have goji berries, which are always really pretty on chocolate. A little bit of goji. Chewy, high antioxidant sweet treat. And we can put in maybe some pineapple. A little fresh turmeric would be nice. Maybe some banana. Like so. What do you think? Easy peasy. Chocolate squeezy. Happy Valentine's Day. And then you just set it in your fridge. And look at that, this beautiful variety of chocolates that we've made from scratch. Yay. 3 recipes in under a half hour if I wasn't yapping the whole time, talking about my life story. It would be a lot quicker. Pretty nice, right? Do you guys want to come taste test one of these that's ready? Come on over. Yes. We are broadcasting live to the world. Yay. So if your boss doesn't know you're here. So, would you like one with spirulina?
Sure.
Well, would you each like one? We've got 3. Sure. So this one's pecan, and this is the super easy raw great vegan recipe of just coconut oil, cacao powder, agave sweetener, and vanilla. So this is like
So rich.
fudgy and rich, not super sweet.
It's good.
What's
That's spirulina, so that tastes like, that's algae, so be warned.
We love spirulina here.
Okay, cool.
You want to try it? What's sweet?
Not bad, right? Rich.
So what is this one?
That's the same chocolate base, just with watermelon on top.
Oh, okay.
The other ones, unfortunately, aren't set because these ones I made with cacao butter, and they're going to take a while. So I had to melt down the cacao butter so they're super warm.
Oh, so delicioso. I heard fudgy and not super sweet.
Well, I got...
There's watermelon.
Well, the other ones are all still soft, so if you...
I'll take a little bite of all of them.
I never get this many people people wanting to come to see my lives in person. I gotta make chocolate more often, apparently.
I guess that's the clue here.
If you like chocolate, you like this.
So this is a ketogenic chocolate. If you guys want to pass that around for your all friends, and give that a taste. This is sugar-free hot chocolate.
But this is not sugar-free.
It's got agave in it, a little bit of agave.
Okay, that's it though, but it's sugar-free except for all. Okay, good to know.
That's
I guess I'm
tasty.
not really doing
really
a lot of
good.
sugar right now.
It's like we're passing the challenge.
I did a pretty good job with this one, I must say.
Did you create this?
I mean, it was just, this is all really just, I've done so much chocolate work in my years of training with this way.
It's not like the hot chocolate that we know. It's just
It's better than Ovaltine, that's for sure.
good for sure.
And the cool thing when you make it yourself, this was easy. This was almond milk, some heavy creamer, whatever you want to use, coconut milk, whatever, cacao powder,
I like it.
and I used stevia as the sweetener and a bit of vanilla, but you can up the sweetener, you can up the chocolate, make it richer. You can do so many things. Super easy.
Delicious.
Just in time for Valentine.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Did you get your other book out?
End of February, I'm hoping.
Oh, okay.
It's funny, I was just talking about my books. I've got my first one and my very first one from years ago, this one, and then there's going to be Miracle Meals 2.0 coming out.
I don't have the first one.
Yeah, this one actually, this one paid for my move down to Costa Rica 6 years ago. This was all vegan, mostly raw. I did all the food photography myself. I did this whole, this was like my heart and soul for 6 months. Every night after I worked my 2 jobs, I would come home and just be like, writing the book. But it was just a compilation of recipes from all the cooking classes I was teaching, all the magazines I was writing for, because I was doing a lot of magazines back then, and people would say, do you have a recipe for this? And I'd be like, yes, but I don't know where. It's like on the internet somewhere, or this workshop, or this, so I just put them all together.
Oh, we definitely want to get one. Maybe should we wait for your new one?
No, let's get them all.
I know.
Yeah, I would recommend get them all. No, only because there's different stuff. The first, like the first Miracle Meals, wherever it went, it's this one, was the most requested recipes of 2017 in May. The new ones are all sauces and sweets, stuff that, you know, have been really popular. This one is available in the gift shop, yes.
We will get one.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, my friends, we're live on Facebook and I'm like ignoring all of them.
You gotta be here.
Yes, you gotta be here.
I want that one.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, we're gonna end this right here because we've got hot chocolate to eat and chocolates to refrigerate. And I'm gonna go get a Mama to Be massage because my body is aching. Sunday, fun day comes to a close. I love you guys. What are we doing next week? Next Sunday. Woo! This is an interesting one. Kid-friendly food art. I don't know what I was planning to do for that, but we'll figure it out. I'll have to do some research, and we're gonna do some fun food art. That'll be I think my idea is to get some fun ways to serve food that might get kids more interested in eating it. So we're gonna do that. All right, guys, 2:34 p.m. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday, a beautiful week. Don't forget to tune in to Dr. Jeff tomorrow evening for his Facebook Live, and eat chocolate.